themselves. Okay, next please. Preparation. So it's very important to be persistent when scheduling, because oftentimes you may leave a message and people may not get back to you, so it's kind of up to you to really follow up and to really make sure that somebody lets you have the visit. So more often than not, you'll be directed to submit requests to the scheduler via fax or email. What I suggest is call the office first and say, I'm trying to schedule a visit with Congressman or woman so-and-so, and ask what is the most preferred way of doing that. Some offices like faxes, some offices like emails, and some offices just let you do it over the phone. So it's good to call and ask. Sample meeting requests are, of course, available on our website, which is right here. So when you are faxing or emailing, you can have a professional-looking letter. And also be sure to mention yourself as a constituent in the meeting, and briefly mention the issues that you're going to describe so they can direct you to the right person. If it's an LA in charge of education or healthcare, whatever the issue is, they divide their issues, so it's important to know. And as I said, you can be a constituent even if you are not registered to vote there, if you live there. You say, I go to this school. Yeah. Okay, next. Okay, so scheduling tips. It's very important to be, as we said before, confident and assertive when scheduling this, and just be very it's very important that I get this meeting with this person. We're very interested in meeting with him. We think he would be very interested in this issue, and I really need this meeting. Don't be kind of shy and timid and, oh, I kind of want to meet with him. No. Just be very, very kind of active and strong when you speak with them. So allow half an hour between appointments when you're scheduling, because sometimes it takes forever to walk through security. I've been through lines that literally took half an hour on some days. It takes a long time to walk across to the different side of Congress from House to Senate, or even between the houses. It's also obviously important to find the room in case you get lost, to freshen up in case you're running between Senate and House, and also in case the office is running ahead of schedule. And sometimes if you're early, you can just walk in early, but you certainly never want to be late. So it's very important to schedule as much time, generally half an hour between the end of the one meeting and the beginning of another. Just give yourself time. At least half an hour. So attempt to group the Senate and House appointments together on your lobby day so as to minimize the walking distance between the two different areas of the Hill, because otherwise you'd be getting your exercise that day. It would not be very pleasant. And create a spreadsheet of all the appointment information, so location, office, phone number, in case you need to call and say I'm running late or whatever, name of person you're meeting with prior to the lobby day, because when you're on the Hill, it's very important just to have that in front of you so you don't have to look for it in case you're running late, so it's all there, all available very easily to access. Okay, next slide. Okay, so prior to arrival, review, prepare, and leave behind documents and talking point sheets, which, as I said, we have samples of. Write personal letters to each member of Congress who you're meeting with about the issues that you will discuss. Because what you will do is you have a leave behind folder that has all these things in it, and since most likely you'll meet with a staffer, it's really nice to have a personal letter with letterhead of your school to the member of Congress saying, Dear the Honorable Representative so-and-so, these are the issues that I'm here to talk to you about. This is why it's really important to me as a graduate student, as a member of this school, or as your constituent. Please really support, co-sponsor, or whatever it is that the ask is. Make sure that you actually have that written down, so that way the staffer, when taking notes, doesn't relay that information, it's actually in the letter with your signature. So bring in NAGPS or your university-specific folders with letters, leave behind documents, and your business cards, so that way if they have questions, they can obviously contact you. And also so that way they know exactly who they know, because these people meet with, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 people a day. So it's very important that if at the end of the day they don't remember who you are, they have a whole folder of all their information, so there's no confusion about what happened in the meeting. So you can bring in other leave behind paraphernalia from your university, if you can, like pens or something like that, just to give them, because they like that. And be sure to bring supplies to take notes during the meetings, because a lot of times you get follow-up questions, or they might recommend someone else you may see about this topic or what have you. And if you're having 10 meetings in one day, the chances of you actually remembering all that information and remembering it for more than 24 hours start to get smaller and smaller with each and every visit. Okay, next slide. Okay, and for my final slide, this is obviously it's kind of common sense, but I think it's important to review. So it's good to wear suits, and you can wear suit-like clothing, like something what I'm wearing, which is not necessarily a suit. But definitely no shorts, no sneakers, no excessive jewelry, no excessive see-through clothing, which it's funny, but not so much. And for example, right now, as you guys know, Congress adjourned, so the staffers are kind of informal. We're lobbying Friday, they're wearing jeans or whatever. That doesn't mean that you need to be informal, because the more formal you are, the more seriously they're going to take you. So I suggest, when in doubt, just formal. So ladies, bring a pair of flat shoes to walk in. I can't tell you the amount of friends who I have who were wearing their heels running across from the center to the house, and by the end of the day, they couldn't walk at all, and they were crying. So definitely do that, and the trick is everyone on the Hill who's a lady has a purse to carry their shoes in, because you don't want to walk in with bags or whatever, but it's very handy and it looks professional. You can also put it home. So okay, thank you. I think at this point I'll turn it over to Chad.
I'll start, finish the lobby training right through the left off. So once you're in Washington, if you're not familiar with the area, one of the biggest things is to acquire a map of Capitol Hill, or at least be well aware of what the structure is. The House is located on one side, Senate is located on the other. You might even have some meetings in the actual Capitol building if you're meeting with a leader, like a majority leader, like Pelosi has their offices there. Take a seat. Also, you want to be aware of all the metro stops that are close to that actual house or the Capitol complex, and that includes the Capitol Hill South stop and the station. So depending on what your first visit is or what your last visit is, you want to be walking all over the place to actually get to your lobby visits. So if you also have time, explore the area prior to lobbying. That gives you a little better layout, and that will also make sure you're more efficient when you're on the Hill. So if you do only have maybe 10 minutes in between a lobby session, you want to be aware of how the building's laid out and you're not getting stuck on one end and trying to go all the way downstairs into another building or out through security and back in. And if possible, attending the first lobby session with an experienced student lobbyist. So that could be someone from your school, or hopefully we can send some guys with you who are new tomorrow on your first lobby visit with a NAGPS board member who is actually experienced in lobbying. That way they can kind of take the lead in the first lobby visit, and you can see how the whole interaction goes between a staffer and you as the lobbyist or student advocate. So your actual appointment, these are the key things to know for your appointment. The committees that your member of Congress serves on, or the Senate serves on, and how he or she can affect change in the policy. And so that's looking at what PAC's policies they supported, and and also who they've worked with to support these policies within the committees they're a part of. And familiarizing yourself with the bio of the member is also important. That allows you to establish some personal connections possibly with the congressman. You might have gone to the same university you're going to right now, or you might have gone and gotten a graduate degree, either like a JD degree or something else. There are PhDs on the Hill, and so you want to be aware of that fact so that you have that kind of automatic bond with them. And be prepared.